Hello there. Fun and festive Halloween DIYs is on our menu today. I'm Whitney Lucas with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, and let's jump into the craft room. Now, today is special because look at this cute little guy. This is, I don't know what to name him, but anyways, this is my bat. And my best buddy, her name is Holly. She makes these little guys. Her Etsy store is called Spooky Splendors. And so with all these batlings, I have a few of them, but this Halloween one is perfect for my display. And I wanted to make a little stand for him. So what she is offering 20% discount to batlings. If you guys want to go to her Etsy page, there is a link and then a code for a 20% off. And the 20% off is good until September 15th of 2024. And also looky there, she's got some pot holders and some really good bags and stuff like that. Just check out her Etsy, you'll love it. But look at the good quality of these little batlings. There's custom ones. There's all kinds of, I was about to say flavors. Please do not put batlings in your mouth. Please keep those out of your mouth. But look how cute they are. And again, such good quality. That's my friend. And she's so talented with it. Look at those sewing lines are all straight. It's a cute little butt. You know, sometimes you have to tell your friends they're great at things when they're really not, but that's because that's your friend. No, she is awesome at this. Let me tell you, I have many batlings and I've given them out as gifts, so they're great. So I want to make a little stand for this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of my Dollar Tree goodies and we're going to make a little stand. Now, this is a Dollar Tree little container. Again, many of you have seen this if you're familiar with Dollar Tree stuff. Now, I'm taking the label thing off the front. We're not going to use it, so save it because we are all craft hoarders and that's how we live. But I'm going to paint everything. I'm going to paint the box black. Now, these is like a duo of tags that I got from Dollar Tree. And the funny thing about these tags is I found them in the school supply section or the office supply section. But I'm going to make another coffin like I did. So I'm going to take my dot and I'm going to line it up with the top of the tag. See, I'm talking a little bit out of key here with how I edited the video. But in order to make the coffin shape, if it wasn't clear in my last video, I did the same thing with the tag. So the top of the tag is already done for you and it gives you a better idea of how to cut things. And since I don't have any like actual real woodworking, materials or saws or, equipment, I'm doing everything scoring it with, a ruler and a box cutter, so I'm gonna score this a few times. But in order to get that good coffin shape, we're gonna line up the dot at the bottom with the top corner of the first part of the tag. We're gonna make a line coming down. So let me show this one more time. So the way we get that good shape for that diagonal is we're going to take the top corner here and we're going to line it up and make a dot down here. So then the second corner of the coffin on the right, we can then bring it in and it's even, and then the top and the bottom will be the same height. Now for this particular project, that doesn't matter because you don't see the bottom of it because I'm attaching it to that box that you saw earlier. But on the previous video, I did make a wall hanging out of a coffin, little padded coffin. It was really super cute. That one you might want to have things a little bit more even. And that's the one that I did the same thing, just on a larger scale. So for this, you're just going to score this 100 billion in 4.2 times because that's what it takes. And then we speed this all up, so it's just lots of slicing. Now, you lose your patience a little bit since you're like me and I am an impatient crafter, and then you kind of tear it just a little bit at the bottom, but it's not bad. So I'm taking a nail file or any kind of sanding block. I'm going to finish off that edge, make it nice and smooth, and then you'll see here I got a little bit. If I had just a tiny bit more patience, that wouldn't happen, but it doesn't happen on the other side. So for this one, I'm going to take the piece that I cut off, and I'm going to get rid of the paper that ripped there. And I'm going to use that as my template, and I'm just going to trace that on the opposite side. That way I'm pretty much making sure I've mirrored one side to the other. We don't really need to worry about measuring or anything because it's the same size as the piece that we cut off. See what I'm saying? See what I did there? See how fancy that was? Let me know. You think I'm fancy? Kidding. So with that all said and done, we have a perfect little coffin shape. Now, yes, I know it's a little redundant because I did just do this in my last video, but I'm a little obsessed with it. And I'm not sure if this is going to be my last Halloween video or not because you guys know I am Halloween and pumpkin obsessed. So we will be doing lots and lots of punkies. Now, I'm taking some scrapbook adhesive. I am looking for another scrapbook adhesive. I'm going to run out of this very, very soon. I had tried one from Amazon and it broke on me. So I'm looking for a new like glue runner type of thing, something that's good because I do use this in a lot of DIYs. I'm going to take this adhesive, and it's a very good adhesive. Stuff is permanent. Once you put that down, that paper's not coming back off without, some, negotiating and bribery. And lots of sanding. So This is just a piece of regular cardstock that I used. It's like a scrapbooking paper. Kind of could use construction paper, but this is like mostly scrapbooking cardstock. And I put this for the back. This is going to be the back of our cute little coffin stand. And this is, again, just the decorative part that's going to go behind the bat. As you've seen in my thumbnail, and if you've seen the pictures on my Instagram page, this is the back part of where the bat will, he'll lean up against this guy. Now I'm just going to take, again, a finger sander. This is a nail file with a really pretty good grit on it. And I'm going to file away from the item in a downward motion, and that gives us a really good cut edge, and it gets a really clean edge on everything. It's my favorite thing to do. I do it many, many times. Now, I'm going to take this fancy paper I've had for 1,004 years, because that's what I do. I save scrapbook paper and then never use it. It's kind of like, oh, I have those pillows on the bed that you're never supposed to use. It's decorative. So I'm cutting into the scrapbook paper. I'm going to use the polka dot side, but at this point right now, I wasn't absolutely sure yet. As long as because I wanted to keep everything within the same color palette as my little bat guy here. So I'm like, yeah, the little potion bottles was a little bit too busy. So we're going to stick with our polka dots here. And I'm going to cover this side with the polka dots, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Now, this is a little bit thicker cardstock since it's a little bit fancier. And same thing. If you just keep filing at it, just keep at it in the same downward motion, you're going to get a good edge on it. And you'll notice when I'm putting the adhesive down, I'm putting the adhesive right on the edge. And there are times where half of that adhesive isn't even going down because I want to make sure I get it right up to the edge so the paper doesn't peel off. And then from here, in order to get the edges nice and black, you can use paint. I just didn't want to pull the paint out, which is actually pretty funny because after this, I paint the box black. But the Sharpie works fine. You got furniture markers or any other kind of marker, paint markers, it all works the same. So again, I didn't want to get paint out because I don't want to get paint on the paper. The Sharpie was my best solution to that. Now for the little box that we're going to use as a stand, same thing here. We've taken all the goodies off of it. I sanded down those little holes because they were a little raised after that, but I'm just taking a black chalk paint here. I believe I'm using a folk art paint, but what I mostly like to do is I like to use DIY paints. I get those from miltonsdaughter.com, so you can take a peek. There's a link in a code in my description for that. I get most of my paints and decoupage papers and IODs from Milton's Daughter, but this instance I used a different type of black paint just to get a little bit, I mean, it was there, it was closest, and that's how we did it. Now, we got our two items all dry and painted. I'm going to line that up, and you saw here I put a little pencil mark for me to see, so that way I know how far up to put my hot glue, and I'm going to glue the bottom of the coffin to the back of our box. Now, the back of the box is probably where those holes are, where we had that label piece that we took out. And then here I'm just using like a little stylus tool just to get some of that hot glue that came up, the little squishy pieces that come out. Hot glue will solidify, and then normally with most surfaces you can kind of scratch at it a little bit without damaging anything, get the glue out because it's so cute. And that's our main, the main construction of the piece. Now I wasn't happy with, you can see some of that sticky right there on that, so I'm grabbing my scrapbook paper again, and I'm just going to put a little square right there to cover that sticky stuff that was on the bottom. I have, again, still bad luck with the stickers coming off of things. The last DIY in this video, the stickers came off beautifully, so I can't say it's complete bad luck, but this has been happening to me more often than not with the adhesive is sticking behind. And I mean, I know there are adhesive removers, but again, anything else would have been soaked up by this box. It's this particle board, which I probably would have soaked up anything. And then of course, I do not like the smell of like Goo Gone. It smells like really heavy citrus. Someone had mentioned before lighter fluid, and I was like, that's true. When I was little, we always used lighter fluid. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. We were nothing if not allowed to do things we shouldn't have as children. So we used to take adhesive off with lighter fluid. And of course, I love the smell of that stuff too, but I don't have any of that at the moment. So after I get all the placement, I'm going to take this, and my best, here, you see here, I have this ancient little thing of Velcro that I've kept in my sewing tackle box. We'll call it my sackle box of sewing. All these little notions and things I have in my sewing, I've had these for years. So I'm just going to put Velcro on him because I don't want to glue him down. I want it, it's so cute. I don't want to make anything permanent, because if I decide I want to display him in a different way or a different area, I can take him off of this little display piece here, and then I can still tuck him into like a tiered tray. And I put the fuzzy part on his butt so it's not like sticking to anything in case I do need to move him or I want to take him off the display I'm making. So in any event, Velcro was the best way I could do it. I couldn't tie him down by ribbon, and I didn't want to hot glue him. Nothing permanent, so that's how we did that. Now, moving on to ribbon. I've got 4 different grosgrains. Grosgrain ribbon is like my jam for some reason recently. I love all the lines in it. It's not wired ribbon, so you get really cute floppy bows out of it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make 3 of these loosely tied bows, and it's basically like an awareness ribbon shape that you pinch down in the middle. But for me, the way I do it is I just make 2 loops in my hands and I pinch them in the middle. There's no exact science to it, so if maybe you struggle with bows sometimes, it's literally, you can't really do it wrong in my eyes. Even if your bow has one side bigger than the other, things that aren't perfect or things that are lopsided or asymmetrical, they end up looking great, especially when you mix them in with other items. So if you make one bow and you don't like it, take it apart. All I'm doing here is after I pinch all these 3 in the middle is I'm going to take a piece of wire, twist it around the middle, and then on the back I'm going to twist it like you would like a little twisty tie on your bread. That way you can make sure nobody, including yourself, can get back into that bread the next day. Just twist it like 57 times. I just want to make sure the bread stays fresh, guys. That was random, I know. So also I'm cutting diagonals in all the ends of the ribbon, and then I'm using some far just to make sure that this stuff doesn't start fraying. And then we're going to just attach this right down with some hot glue onto the very front of the box. So our little bat guy, he's going to sit behind this. My plan is to also add in some extra little crafty accoutrements. So I have some little picks and some berry things and some greenery, which is actually black, so it's blackery, anyways. And then we're going to add that in. So what I want to do here is I'm going to make a finger bow. I have a separate finger bowl tutorial linked in my description below on my channel that slows things down and will show you in detail. It's about a 5-minute video. Practice will make perfect, but does show you how to do single, double, and multiple loop finger bows. I really like using this with jute twine, because at that point you don't have to worry about anything facing front or back, because it's basically just a fuzzy twine. But this is pretty effective. You see here I got my fingers stuck in there, and yeah, that's it. So even after you do this bow, I'm using my fingernails to kind of curl the ribbon tails forward, but I like finishing off most of my bows with something like this, smaller in the middle, because then you don't see the fastener on it. And the same thing with the tails. We're going to cut them off at a diagonal. We're going to use a little bit of far. Just a little bit of far in a second. Come on, use some far. There we go. And that's just, again, to melt those edges, make sure that they don't fray out. Now, here's our little extra gobbledygook we're going to put in there. Here's my bow. So you can see the wire back there. That's fine. Remember, if you have anything out, you can always cover it with something else. You can glue all kinds of garbage to your projects. I am nothing if not a creature of habit when it comes to, like, I can't leave my bows alone. I'm going to tuck these goodies in here. Now this is, again, I was telling you earlier, it's not greenery, it's blackery, but basically this is like greenery you would normally get, but it came in black. I'm going to put a couple pieces of that in there. Both of these picks are bundles that I got from Amazon. I got really good prices on them, and I got a decent amount too. So now the one that you're seeing me add here in orange, it's like a multicolored little pick there. And I don't know if I show you enough of it, but it is black, white, and orange. You get a lot of those little foamy curly cues, and then the ends look like pip berries. It's pretty cute little picks. And I'm not sure if they came in other colors, because when I was on Amazon, I was shopping specifically for Halloween, because I mean, my Halloween stash is pretty small. I don't normally do Halloween videos and or decorate at all for Halloween, but this little batling, I couldn't let him sit this way. So he's going to have a special place in my craft room in his little Halloweenness. Also, I should have put a pumpkin on here. What was I thinking? I could still put a pumpkin like literally right in front of him. I could do that. I have those little mini pumpkins. I could paint it like orange or lime green or something. See, you hear me? The wheels are turning. I'm planning more stuff for something that should be finished. Also, look how cute he is when you tuck his little arms, or his little wings in front of him. He's so adorable. I love it. So this is my little creation for my creation from my buddy who makes these. Remember, you guys, you can get this in anything. I have probably 5 or 6 of these she's made me. I've got pink ones with flowers. I got one with wiener dogs, wiener dog fabric, because I have weenie dogs. My husband has one with dinosaurs on it. We have these little guys displayed everywhere, because again, if you like bats will be out year round. I like pumpkins. I have pumpkins out year round. But this little guy is going to be specially displayed in my happy place in my craft room. So tell me your thoughts. Here's basically the bat himself. So you can still take him off and display him separately because I used the Velcro. And then here's our little display case, which nothing could stop you from even just putting like an LED candle on top of that and using that as a separate display, you know, a smaller LED candle. But tell me your thoughts. And if you go over there and if you get a bat, just tell her I said hi. Then let Holly know that Whitney sent you because that's my buddy. That's my main buddy. All right, now our second DIY. We're going to take these little, I guess there's a cutting board shape cutouts from Amazon. Again, I got a good price on those. I think I got them a year or two ago, but they are listed in my shop, so take a peek if you want to get the same ones. Now we're going to paint them all black, front and back, and the sides. And I'm going to tell you right now, the next two projects are stenciling projects. This one, I'm going to go through the first part pretty quickly because I messed it up. But I want to show you what I did and how I fixed it, because I know a lot of people that have come to me and said, stenciling's great, but I just can't do it. And in the beginning, I was the same. I was just like that. I literally had such bad luck with stencils, but I've been doing pretty good. And also we had a tiny bit of fail, but I can tell you what I did wrong. So this is a skeleton mini tag stencil set that I got from Essential Stencils. You can still get this, I believe. So if you take a peek at their website, and you look through some of their stuff, it might even be on clearance. But again, we're only in August, so you've got time before Halloween. I chose this skull with these flowers because I thought it was pretty. And I'm going to keep in the same theme of the color of my little batling guy. So we're going to do that lime green, purple, and orange. But first I'm going to put down the white skull. And I'm just putting a dot of this each because it shouldn't take much. Normally you want to keep your brush very, very dry. And I should have followed my own advice. So here's the white part. This is just a white chalk paint and everything's going fine. And I want to make the colors. Now, normally, I can tell you this is my first experience with using multiple colors, I believe, on a stencil. I have to think really hard, but I don't think I've used multiple colors before. So I only did the white on the skull part of it for this first try. And what I'll notice in a minute once you see me skip ahead is the purple actually didn't show up very well because of the black background. So in hindsight, you learn from your mistakes, or basically everything's a learning experience, right? So on this particular set, I do just block colors. I do green, and then I do a chunk of purple going down, and then the bottom is the orange. But I get a little bit overzealous with the green up top. I haven't checked it yet, but once I pull it up, it's bled. And then I go a little bit too ham on the orange at the bottom. There were some parts of the white skeleton that I personally wasn't like, I'm on the fence about. It was like, it bled through, but it wasn't bad. But you could see it. And again, I try to attack these things knowing that I am my own worst critic and say, look, Whitney, these things are fine. Just, take your crafty calm pills. You be calm. But you'll see in a second when I pull this off, I'll show you. And I'm using that little piece on the left there to kind of block things off because I didn't want the color to get on the white part of the skull. But yeah, it's bled pretty bad at the bottom. I'll show you in a second. Come on, bring it. Come closer. There we go. See, the orange down there at the bottom is just ridiculous. Yeah, I just went way too hard with the paint. So what did I do? I wiped it all off. Now this is acrylic paint that was the flowers. The acrylic paint, which I was surprised, wiped right off. Came right off. Same thing with the stencil. It cleaned off the stencil pretty easily. Now that chalk paint wasn't going anywhere, and I did not want to sand the project, so I just took my black paint from before and I put a coat over it. Now you can see the raised part of that skull is still there, which I'm able to line it back up so it's not crazy noticeable, which actually you can't notice it at all, that it's basically been painted over. And for this go round, after we tape it down and make sure I have it in the right spot, I do white over the entire thing, because this is going to help me with my colors being brighter. So I'm going to do one coat of white over the whole thing, not just the skull, but we're going to put that through the flowers too. And then when we go back across it with those darker colors like that purple is going to pop a lot more because it has a white background behind it. And and then the more I think about it, even now while I'm recording this voice recording for you guys, I think about it. When I decoupage, I do the same thing. I put a white, usually I paint something, the background white. And I've seen other YouTubers and creators, they will paint the back of the decoupage paper because basically that's the same as if you were putting it down on a painted surface, right? So white background would mean maybe your colors are going to pop because I have a black background behind my stencil. I am behind my stenciled image. So this is me putting down a white canvas per se. So again, you could stop here. If black and white is your jam, you could put all kinds of different black and white ribbons and things on here. But I want to keep in my theme with my new little guy, because we could have this all set up like a cute little tiered tray with these, you know, fun, festive, brightly colored Halloween goodies going around. But so this time I'm taking a lot less paint, and I decided to kind of do it in like little groupings. I almost made it like a like camouflage, but like not, but like neon camouflage, you know, in case you ever need to hide in a skate park or something. I have no clue. It's like I tried to do it in groupings, so I just kind of did little groupings here. Now, again, since this is a little bit slower, you can see I'm holding a little piece of craft paper over the left side. I am covering up the pieces of the white skull that I don't want to accidentally get any paint on. When, you know, you can see this stencil has a lot of detail to it, so there are places where if you're going to place a different color on it, you could accidentally get that kind of into some of the skull parts, and I didn't want the green, the purple, or the orange anywhere near that. So, and then also, as you can see, I am taking my colors and I'm just kind of randomly grouping them on parts that I think would look pretty. And I was going for maybe a gradient kind of thing, but again, I'm not putting that much effort and thought into how this is going to turn out. This is just what I thought would work, and guess what? It did. And again, this is my second try. So if at first you don't succeed, guys, try again, right? Sand it off, paint it back over, and keep going. I mean, don't be afraid. Even with hand-painted things, which I do some hand painting, which it's a joke of, I put little highlights in the eyes of my pumpkins. It's not crazy, but for me, it's a huge thing. So, and even so, now you can see here right there, I added a little bit of lavender to that darker purple to lighten it up on top of that, because it was a super dark purple, but I didn't have any other purple paints. So again, acrylic paints are pretty cool because of the way you can just mix them, and again, they're so inexpensive that the waste isn't really that bad of a consideration in them. So again, I'm taking my brush and I'm offloading a lot of it. So because we have a white background, that it's not looking like a black, the black is popping through like a bruise. Well, it's like, that looks like a bruise instead of bruise. By the way, you ever find a bruise like on your arm and then you're like, hey, when did that happen? And then you push on it and then it hurts. But you know it was a bruise. So it's like, why did you push on it? I was like, I don't remember getting it. But like, you had to check because like you didn't believe your own eyes. Has anybody ever done that? Like, where did I get that bruise from? Okay. Ow. Just random thoughts. You know, that's the neurons firing in the crafty brain I've got right now. Just got distracted. So in the meantime, please continue watching me dab on this paint. Again, I stipple. I don't normally do the brushing technique. Now, Essential Stencil has a lot of good tutorials. I've watched a lot of stuff on their website, a lot of their other creators that do things and are sponsored and stuff, I guess. They have packages and like little, you know, packages you could get for their creators and stuff. I've seen them. They take the stencil brushes and they swirl them, and they're almost like painting them, and it's a different type of technique. I am a stippler, so or pouncing. Basically, I dab on top of that, so it's a lot of boom, boom, boom. You know, if I'm stenciling and you walk past me, you're going to hear a lot of tap, 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 tap. So I tap things up and down. You get a different texture also, but look at this girl. Look at this time. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. Now you can see some of the white around the edges. I'm going to point out these little tiny details that usually probably don't matter to most people. You can see some of the white around some of the edges of the flowers, but it doesn't, for me, it's not exactly about being perfect, but I didn't want anything to look like it had bled through. So now I'm taking what was left of some of that white paint that was still on my little cardboard piece over there from earlier, and I'm going to again, try to keep the brush as dry as possible, and then just dry brush around the edges. I don't want it to be, you know, too full of paint, but I did get some paint on the side of that already. And I was like, oh, why not just add that in there? Because again, my heart lies in farmhouse. Whether that's overdone or out of style, that's not my concern because I love it. I love it so much. And I really wanted to put a buffalo check ribbon on here, but I didn't. You'd be proud of me. So this, normally not in my wheelhouse. Again, it's Halloween, but it's very festive. It's very fun. And I loved making all this stuff, even though I don't decorate for Halloween. Again, my little batling's got a special place in my craft room. So this stuff was just fun stuff to put alongside it with the same colors. So after the dry brushing, it's looking pretty good. Again, I'm showing you the back of it. Don't know why. Just proof of life. Yes, see, I painted it. Now I got some stripe ribbon. This is an old ribbon I got from Michael's from many, many moons ago. So I'm just putting like a little dab of hot glue at the front. That's just to hold the ribbon where I want it to go. And we're just going to wrap it around the back. So again, I like to keep the pieces finished nice, you know, at least what I'd like to say retail shelf quality. Although sometimes you're not going to see stuff this cute in retail, you know. A lot of times when you see stuff in mass produced on the shelves in those stores, it's just not as cute. But I'd like to keep things finished as though they would be, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. But again, just tacking down the ribbon. I put a stripe at the top, a stripe at the bottom, and then just carrying on the back just to make it a finished looking piece. You could also do this and just, you know, kind of, if you want to save some of the ribbon. Also, by the way, that little hack right here, that's a chippy brush that I use to get all the glue strings off. It's a very rough brush. It's been through some, it's had a hard life, and it's kind of rough and scratchy. It takes glue strings off like amazing. And now I've got some other brightly colored ribbons. They're probably all Michaels, and you know, there's the same ribbon we used before, this grosgrain ribbon, and I'm doing again the same loose bow technique. I'm going to do that with all three of these. Grosgrain, 2 grosgrain, and then the one little shimmery sheared one there. It's the same thing. I'm doing a loose bow. So if you need to, you can make the awareness ribbon shape, and then you're going to take the top piece of that ribbon and bring it down to where the ribbons cross each other and pinch it in the middle. That's like the best way to do it. For me, I've just grown accustomed to holding them in my hands this way and gathering them in the middle. We're going to take another piece of wire, and I'm going to wrap that around the middle and then do my little bread twisty tie to save its life. We're going to twist tie the ribbon for freshness. Remember, guys, seal up the bread for freshness and twist tie your ribbons. So I'm taking that black wire and I'm just going to twist it all about. I cut off a lot of it and we're going to glue it down. So finding placement, getting a little bit of dab of hot glue back there, and then I'm going to mess and fuss and fluff and have good times. And again, don't forget to diagonal your edges with wire. With ribbon this thin, you know, 3/8 inch, 5/8 inch, I don't do dovetails, but normally I am a habitual dovetailer. I dovetail everything if it's wide enough. For this stuff, this is all diagonals. And now lastly, I didn't like that little piece there I just pointed to. I showed you it's a little empty, so I'm going to take just one little bud of baby's breath. This is an Amazon bundle I got a while earlier this year. Great stuff. I've actually bought a second bundle because I've used so much of it in my projects since earlier this year. Almost every video has had some baby's breath in it. And even then, Halloween can't go away. I figured I could get away with this white flower because the skull is white. And I got black and white striped ribbon under there. So I figured I could get away with it. And it covers up that little middle piece because I can't put another bow. I mean, I could put another bow. But I like the motif, the theme, the colors, they look good. And this is a good little shelf sitter. If you want to hang it, you could also just put, you know, some ribbon through the hole at the top of the handle on this cutting board. But then also I thought you could even use this as like your little feature decorative sign piece that you could put inside of a wreath. You could use it as a feature, you know, on the left side of a wreath with a bow above it. Anything else like that. It's just a good way to stencil something onto a piece of wood. And for this one, it looks cute because who doesn't love cutting boards? Because, you know, it makes a lot of sense, a cutting board with a skull on it. Tell me your thoughts. All right, now our last DIY. I got 2 wooden boxes here. These are from Dollar Tree. And I got a lot more than that in my stash. But these 2 we're going to use today. And I'm just going to take, see how nice those stickers came off? No, they did not argue with me at all. They didn't left no residue. It's perfect. Now, I got the same, this is again, that's that folk art black chalk paint. I'm trying to use up stuff in just quick little instances. If I don't need to do any distressing, I'll probably use this stuff until I'm out of it, but I really do love using that DIY paint. Now, again, just cover them, top, bottom, back, sides, up, down, left, right, flip it up, all that good stuff. And we are going to take these cute little stencils I just got from, I almost said Dollar Tree, no, these are from Amazon. I got 30 of them. There are 30 little cute faces in this little bunch. Here they all are. I took them all out and put them on my craft table. So pause this if you want to see the faces. They're listed in my Amazon shop. There's a link in the description and the pinned comment below if you want to take a peek at them. I get a small commission off of purchases off Amazon. So every little bit helps. If that's something you can do, that's greatly appreciated. Otherwise, it's not required. But also, again, if you want these stencils, yeah, take a peek at Amazon. I chose two cute little faces that I couldn't help, that just looked fun and festive, but not too cutesy and not too scary. Because, you know, jack-o'-lanterns can be very, very scary. So I chose these two guys here. I'm going to use my acrylic paint, the same that I used on the previous project. This is just literally, it's Craft Smart, and it's the color orange. Can't go wrong. Now, on my first little guy here, I did not tape anything down. I was putting the paint, you see me adjusting him here, I'm putting him up higher because I plan on putting some Spanish moss in here. So I already planned on putting moss at the top and the bottom, so I needed to have more room. I didn't want to cover up his mouth. Now, there were some mistakes here too. I did go ahead and make the same mistake in a couple of places, and I lost my absolute patience and just got too much paint on the brush. I got too confident and said, oh, I'm good. This is good. So you'll see. It's a very slow go with some of this sometimes because the brushes are dry. I might be making it too dry in the beginning. Maybe not. But anyways, when I went to take this off, I got a little paint on the right and the left side. And then his mouth was kind of a bit uneven, but I'm going to show you in a second. I got a very small detail brush out of my paint brushes. And instead of going over and redoing the whole thing, I just tried to clean up as best I could. And with this very small detail brush, I was able to make myself happy to the point where I didn't have to just sand things off and repaint and start the stencil over for something that was so small and minute, but I needed it to be pretty. I needed it to not look bad, but also I didn't want to redo it. Does that make sense? So it wasn't bad enough to make me redo it, but it was also good enough to help me keep it. This is really not making sense. It's like, it was a joke I heard from a comedian that said before, it's like, when you get food delivered, it's like, look, I like your food a lot, just not enough to go get it myself, so can you bring it to me? It's the same thing. I almost snorted. Anyways, now I'm taking the orange paint this time, and I'm just kind of filling in the edges, and I'm just taking things to make myself happy. I'm fixing all the little imperfections that I feel like I need to fix, and then, of course, covering up the extra oranges on each side. And now, I'm going to put some highlights in the eyes. I don't normally do this stuff. If you've been with me and you saw my Christmas video, I was so proud of myself for painting 4 dots on one picture that I literally was, I was a goofball for days. I'm like, look what I did. I painted this by hand. So, I usually say I'm not a painter. Unless it's a solid color, I do not, that's just not where my talent lies. I give credit to people who can paint. I love buying hand-painted items. It's a very beautiful talent when someone can paint things and it comes so naturally. My sister's very good at that. That's, again, my talents lie elsewhere. So I got a little bit messy on that left eye over there, but I'm just going to clean it up just a touch right here with some orange paint, and then I'm happy again. So, and I really think that these little highlights in the eyes really took the project. I think these, of everything, of course, my little batling is my favorite, but I did not make that. Of everything I made tonight, I think these 2 pumpkins are my favorite of this video. And I do get a little confused later on, I'll tell you when. And I started doing backwards recording, so I do have some footage missing, but I'll make sure you guys know what I did before, and then when we get there. So for this one, I chose to tape it down. I didn't want anything moving, so we're going to do the same exact thing as we've done before. I'm starting with a very dry brush. Now, you see here, I'm doing that swirling technique that they show you how to do on Essential Stencil. I didn't have any bleeding, whether or not, again, we are taking a lighter paint and we're putting it on a dark black background. So it's going to take a lot of layers. It's going to take a lot of coats, per se. So I just went back to my stipple effect because I like the texture it leaves behind. It's just I'm a creature of habit, so everything looks good here. Now here's where I attempt, this is my first attempt, and this is horrible. Then you'll know why I get so worked up when it's like, okay, it's time to do this. This looks bad. And why I chose to put it right in the middle. And here I'm like, oh, I've already messed it up. Let me just try and connect it. You can't get much worse, because you know what we're going to do? We're going to paint over it. Let me just try. Okay, one more time. That got too thick on that side. Then I'm like, let me just do an X. Yeah, no, this is horrible, Whitney. Okay, so I dabbed off what extra of the white paint still wasn't dry, so I dabbed it off. And now I'm just taking my regular little paintbrush and I'm filling in the little eyes again. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's literally tedious to watch me sit there and do that. But I do get the paint in places it shouldn't be. I fix it with a little bit of black. So it's just basically, at this point, it's a covering up. I'm just covering up the stuff I did and waiting for the orange to dry so we can start over. Problem is here, I had my video, I had my camera recording when I wasn't painting instead of the opposite. So look at the little things I did on the right. They're just 2 little squicks, just a quick little comma. It's like I did 2 little commas and I couldn't be happier, but I didn't have my camera recording at the right time to show you. I promise you I did that. Anyways, we're going to put these. Also, I didn't record me picking out the stems. Stems are from my stem stash, which I know a lot of you have seen because I get that out all the time. But I chose these 2 stems from the little bags of blocks of wood stems from Dollar Tree. And then the glue I was showing you, I have wood glue sticks that I use for this. Now, they work great for a lot of projects. The heavy duty stuff, I'd say use actual wood glue. But the wood glue hot sticks, the hot wood glue sticks, they work great for these types of projects. Now I'm taking some orange pitberry garland that I got from craftoutlet.com. This is a very brightly colored orange one. It's very cute, festive. I'm going to coil that around a large size of a large glue stick to get the coil I want. And then I'm going to take those and fit them around our stems. I'm putting these down first because I'm going to put Spanish moss in a bow on top. So I want these to be on the bottom. So I am gluing them and I'm securing them around the base of the stems that we've already put on. So, and then guys, this turns out so cute. It makes me so happy. It's one of those things where you're like, I have an idea, and then you get surprised by how cute it is at the end. I'm like, I made that. That's so cute. Now here's some lime or chartreuse colored super moss. I got this off of Amazon also because Hobby Lobby stopped carrying it. I couldn't find that color at Hobby Lobby. So I have this small little bag I got off of Amazon, and when I run out, I will be buying more. It's a very good quality. And I'm going to tuck this into opposite corners on each one because, again, these guys are a set. They need to sit together. They know each other, so they're friends. Now I'm going to take a little bundle and stick it in the right corner of the right little pumpkin guy, and then I'm going to take a little bundle and stick it on the left side of our left pumpkin little picture guy here. And I love the way that bright green it just makes it bright and festive. Again, if you're not looking for this color palette, just use plain, the regular Spanish moss. It comes in grays and browns and different colors that way too. This one is a special one because I keep it for specific things, mainly Easter and spring, but it came in handy for this particular project because we are doing lime green, purple, and orange for this video at least. And now for this guy, I chose to kind of make it go a little bit more across the bottom than the other one. And then the rest I have here, this little bundle, I'm going to take and just wrap it around the base of our stem on the top of our pumpkin. And then mess around with the little pit berries. I'm just putting dabs of glue in here to hold the Spanish moss around. It's not going anywhere. It's kind of messy, but it doesn't go anywhere. But I put my little dabs of glue around there. Use a silicone thing because let me tell you, that hot glue will pop through the Spanish moss and surprise you with its nice little kisses of fire. Nice little kisses of fire. And then again, for the second one, just wrapping it around the stem, getting a cute little crazy coily look. Now these are my 2 ribbons I'm going to use. They're both from Michael's from a few years ago. So I've got like a orange, black and white plaid, and then an orange and black stripe. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're doing a lot of the same stuff for this whole video, but it's so cute because it applies in different ways, right? So I'm making another loosely tied bow. Again, none of this stuff has any wire in it, so it's kind of a floppy look. It's like a really, I don't want to say sloppy, but yeah, it's just a floppy bow. It's cute. So I'm doing the same thing here where I'm just, you see me trying to re-grab it to make sure that I've got it even. If you want to make your tails even, there's no harm, no foul in doing that. There's a lot of times I do that myself. I was like, okay, these tails need to be even. And then I go and I cut them with scissors asymmetrically. So, yeah, I'm my own contradiction. Isn't that great? I just talked to myself in my craft room. I was like, why'd you do that? Like, because I wanted to. Well, we changed it. Yeah, I know. It's cute. I love the way this looks. So then that was me just putting it on there, testing out to see if it's cute. I'm like, yep, it's great. Just put some glue under there, hold that thing down, and that's your new home. Look how cute it is. I love these colors. And this plaid's just making it super, I don't know, what would you call that? Country? Making it farmhousey? I don't know. It's cute. We're doing some more finger bows here because we're going to put one in the middle of each one of these bows. I'm going to do the exact same stuff on the second little pumpkin box. So basically everything you see me do to one, you've seen me do to the second one. We're going to do the same thing with the bows as well. This one's just a single finger bow, and it is one-sided ribbon, so you have to be careful while you're tying it to make sure that you're facing it forward. It just takes a little bit of concentration when you're finishing the bow to make sure that that second tail is facing forward. And then again, I cut the tails really short, and then I just pop that right there on top. And she's almost done. Look how cute it is. This stuff makes me happy. And again, those little highlights in the eyes, that's where my happiness is. I'm proud of that, dude. That's a win for me no matter what. No, I have these berry picks I got at not Hobby Lobby. Jeez, man, I'm bad with the names today. I got them at Dollar Tree last year. I hadn't seen berry picks at Dollar Tree for a long time. So as you see, with the magic of editing, both of our little punky boxes here have the bows on them, and they've been placed and glued, and they're all happiness. And I'm adding 3 berries to it because I wanted to. There's no rhyme or reason. I just think it looks cute. I like to do things, and you either pick odds or evens when you're doing things. A lot of times odds make things look cuter, so I just chose 2 orange and 1 black because I wanted to. And I glued them in the corner, and that's just a little accent piece. No rhyme or reason, just to make you smile. And look how cute it is. Again, these guys, these turned out to be my favorite. I don't know why. It was one of those, the happy accidents are the ones that are the best for me. So, and again, I think it's the highlights in the eyes. So cute. So cute. And remember, never worry about making a mistake. You can cover it back up with paint and try again. And then if it happens just too many times, then you just walk away, come back at it another day, or try to find, omit that step or replace it and change it, plan B. But for me, these stencils this time, I had a few mistakes. You've seen videos where I don't, but for this one, yes, I had some mistakes. So that's how we fix them. Louie, what do you guys think of these little guys? I think they're so cute. I think I might actually put them out. Now that's it for this video. I chose these festive colors, and I really am happy with all of it. I don't know that I'll be displaying them. Of course, my little batling, he will have his place. And again, my craft room is kind of an eclectic mix of most of my projects anyways, but I do have some stuff that I've made before. I made a couple skulls, display skulls a while back, Stan and Stella. That's like very, very early on in my channel. Oh, actually, I don't even know if I did that on YouTube. It was probably before I did YouTube, but I have some things. Everything's all mixed in here. So when I have things I love that I display, they make me happy. That's what I do. But tell me what you think. And please don't forget, if you want to get a bat, make sure you let my buddy know. She's awesome at it, and she's very talented. So I have a coffee page. If you like my videos, you feel like you've learned something, and you want to maybe donate or help my channel out, you can do so in a link in the description below. Also, my DIYs will be for sale there. And with all that said, guys, thank you so much for being with me this whole time. I love you more than I could possibly say in words. Many hugs, happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.